Okay, so Boruto chapter 62 is out, and most of the chapter is Kawaki versus Code, in which Code explains to Kawaki that his main motive now is to get revenge for Ishiki Otsutsuki. We have Kawaki begging to Code to leave Konoha out of this, and instead of that, he offers his life, which Code totally declines. We also have this moment of Boruto coming and saving Kawaki from getting killed. And yeah, we also have some foreshadowings of what might happen in the future, or let's be more precise, how Boruto gets into a fight with Kawaki in the future. So yeah, let's jump straight. Okay, so the chapter starts with Kawaki running off from the village and Boruto realizing he must have gone outside the village boundaries by now. Boruto, knowing that he might get into serious trouble for doing so, he tells him to come back, to which Kawaki says not to interfere in his matters. Boruto, seeing all of this happening in front of him, calls out the sensory ninja and tells him is he even monitoring their chakra and he better not be spacing out, because Kawaki has broken out and is already pretty far away. Can't even sense him, to which he replies he already knows their movements and he's also tracking their chakra at all times. So there is no point in lying. He knows that they both are in that room. Boruto, listening to that, is like, okay, whatever, forget about it. I'm gonna ask someone else for help. And he dashes out of his room. The scene then changes to Code running after Kawaki and Ada navigating him. He then thinks to himself what they're gonna talk about as they will be meeting after such a long time. The scene then comes back to Boruto running down the stairs and interrupting Naruto and Hinata's personal chat. He tells him that Kawaki has run off. Hearing that, Naruto is like, what is he even saying? But Boruto, unable to explain everything to Naruto, says he doesn't know anything but they need to go after him. To that, Naruto is like, run off? But that cannot be possible. Boruto then says he's serious and he thinks that Kawaki is erasing his chakra and that is the reason why the sensory unit ninja has not noticed him. Naruto then comes back to the balcony and asks the sensory ninja Nishi that is he properly monitoring Kawaki's chakra, to which he says everything is good, both Kawaki and Boruto are in the residence. Listening to that, Boruto says he is wrong. It's Kawaki's shadow clone that's in the house, while the actual Kawaki is on the run with his chakra erased and is most likely beyond the village boundaries by now. Naruto then asks Nishi to widen his range and check carefully again, and also to notify Shikamaru as well. The scene then comes back to Kawaki realizing that Boruto has notified everyone of his escape, so there is no point in keeping the shadow clone. But as he looks back, he sees Code behind him. Code then catches up to Kawaki using his claw marks and asks him if he had gained weight, which is, of course, we all know, if he had, it's only because of how well Naruto had treated him compared to how Jigen did. The scene then comes back to the Uzumaki household when Naruto is confused to what Boruto is saying, that is Kawaki erasing his chakra and escaping. Boruto then says to Naruto that he clearly cannot say anything, but Kawaki managed to slip out by using his shadow clones as a decoy, and that's the fact. But for now, they need to go after him. Naruto, hearing that, says even if he is right, then how come he is able to detect where Kawaki is when the sensory unit cannot? To that, Boruto says he's not sure himself. It's obvious he cannot explain it to him because he's unaware of his Otsutsuki abilities. Naruto, on the other hand, tells Boruto he better not be plotting something with Kawaki. And hearing that, Boruto is like, for real? You're doubting your own son? But as they enter the room, they see Kawaki is gone. Or, let's be more clear, his shadow clone is gone. Right then, Nishi appears and informs Naruto that Kawaki's chakra suddenly disappeared, while it was there just a moment ago. Boruto then makes it clear to him that it was a shadow clone and he was totally tricked. Naruto, not a moment later, informs Shikamaru and Ino about this, while they were surprised at Kawaki's act. And as the three of them were discussing how to get Kawaki back and how his chakra has become undetectable, Boruto realizes Kawaki's presence is slowly fading away, and he rushes after him. But Naruto stops him, saying he is also kept under watch because of the same reason. Boruto then tries to explain him that no matter what, the sensory team won't be able to find him. But if he makes any delay, neither will he. Naruto still denies by telling him to stay put, as the adults will be the one handling the matter. And while Naruto was telling Ino to check every nook and corner while keeping an eye on the enemy, Boruto flees through the window. The scene changes to Amaro saying to Shikamaru that how did Kawaki escape? What were their watchers doing? To which Shikamaru says, "That's not the problem now. The real problem is Kawaki ran off on his own free will." And he thinks to himself, what is his motive? Why is he doing this? While we have a moment of silence from Amado. The scene then comes to Boruto thinking to himself, the last time he sensed Kawaki leaving the village, he was heading west, and he needs to find him no matter what, so that even if Konoha cannot detect Kawaki's chakra, they can detect his own to track both of them down. The panel then switches to Kawaki facing off against Code, where he is smoothly getting his ass kicked, and the way Code was beating Kawaki, Ada had to remind him not to accidentally kill him. While he tells Kawaki to relax, as he just wants to have a chat about their future. But Kawaki instead shoots a charged beam at him, which of course didn't hit him, and he appears behind Kawaki. Code then asks him what made him run from the village, as he would have been more safer inside it. He then reveals he came to see him, but didn't expect that he would show himself so soon. Code then asks why does he wants to see him, to which Kawaki says he has heard that he wants to take revenge for Ishiki's death. Code replies by saying yes, he is planning to get 4 people killed. Kawaki hearing that says he is the one who killed Ishiki, therefore he should kill him and leave Konoha out of it, which was of course a silly deal, and Code laughs it off by saying he came all the way here to make such a ridiculous proposal, hoping he would accept it. Shortly after, he knees Kawaki, which makes him spit out blood. Code mentions it's true that he has committed a serious crime, but that's a different conversation, and he is definitely going to kill everyone involved with Ishiki's death. Kawaki coming down to his knees, touching the feet of Code, begs him to not to harm Konoha. Seeing that pissed Code even more, and again starts to beat the crap out of him. He grabs his hair and tells him that even if it was for a short period of time, his body was once Ishiki's vessel, so he dares him not to defile it by groveling on his hands and knees. Ada then reminds Code he is going way too far and he needs to quit it. Later Code tells to Kawaki he knows all the details of how Ishiki died, and now that he has inherited his will, he is going to cultivate a divine tree in this planet and produce its chakra fruit, which will ultimately devour all of existing chakra in it, and no one in the planet can be saved unless they escape to another dimension. And here we get a huge hint to what's about to go down in the future, about which we will talk later in the video. Code then says to Kawaki that exacting revenge against Ishiki's killers is just the first stage of the bigger catastrophe to come. It's just he personally feels to kill Ishiki Otsutsuki's killers with his own hands before they are killed by the divine tree itself. The end results are the same anyways. Therefore, his puny existence doesn't matter because they are talking about a whole different scale of things. Shortly after, he grabs his neck and lifts him up, saying he is excluded from his kill list though, because there is someone who wants to meet him. Though it really irks him that he is always needed by somebody, and he starts to return through his claw marks. But suddenly Boruto comes and kicks Code in his face, foiling his plan in taking away Kawaki, and the chapter ends. Now, let's talk about the dimension thing that Code mentioned. We all know by now that Konoha is going to get destroyed in the future. So what actually causes it is the fight between Boruto and Kawaki. And we had this moment when Kawaki says he is going to send Boruto to the 7th Hokage. And when everyone heard that, they were like, yeah, Naruto is dead and Kawaki has to be the villain. But seeing what's happening in the past few chapters in the manga, do you really think he's going to kill Naruto and destroy Konoha? I mean, after allowing his ass to be kicked by Code and begging him to take his life and leave the village out of this matter, he's going to destroy it.
Are you serious?
So the only logical answer to it for now is yes, he does destroy Konoha, but only the village. He does not cause harm to anyone living there. He somehow must have sent everyone to another dimension, including Naruto, and Boruto is the only one left to be sent to their new world, where they can live peacefully. And if you listen to Kawaki's words from episode 1, he mentioned that the age of shinobi is over, and him mentioning that means something must have happened that made him lose faith in the shinobi powers. Like, he must have seen someone getting killed or severely getting injured by those cyborgs, and and seeing the shinobi techniques getting whacked by those scientific monsters, he sends the people of Konoha to another dimension so that he doesn't have to see anyone else die. And Boruto, having inherited that shinobi's will, won't give up without a fight, which is the reason why we could see him facing off against Kawaki in the future. So yeah, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and see you all until next time.